thought I had more clarity after meditation, but I just made a video where I turned the video off, and that was it. So it's all relative. I do have more clarity. I know why I'm vlogging again. I wanted to um, chronicle this process that's going to happen right now because I'm going to move to Finland eventually, and I'm going to do a project in Bulgaria. This is the planning. I don't know if I'm going to do any of those things. Um, and I hope it's going to be interesting because this vlog was started. I need to eat something. This vlog was started when I went to Aruba. Um, was very well planned out, and then a lot of things happened. My phone broke, and I didn't really get to use it, but it's there. I made this little tool where I can tell the people around me where I am, like polar steps, but free. And I feed it from YouTube. So that's what this vlog was originally. Um, and now I've decided to make it a tool for actual vlogging, like a diary or a journal. Chronicling, is that a word? Journaling. um, and yes, registering what's happening, how I function at the moment, which is not interesting for you, but it's very interesting for me because I've been monitoring my functioning quite closely the last couple of years. And also, I think there's something interesting going to happen in Bulgaria. I hope. And I think I have interesting things to say about what it means to be a conscience, consciousness, awareness, not from a spiritual standpoint, because loads of people do that, um, but from a more grounded inside view. I've had a peek behind the curtain, and I'm as my brain starts functioning better, it's easier to lose that perspective, and it's a very grounding, very um, efficient perspective where I at least don't lose so much energy in being miserable. Well, yeah. Um, and I hope that means that even though I don't have much energy on a day, I can do some stuff that other people that don't and probably don't have the energy for, or maybe don't have the courage for. I am in the happy circumstance that um, I know what rock bottom looks like. So um, basically, anything that happens is cool. And I'm quite thankful for each moment that I have. And this is the baseline. So, fear, I don't know what I would fear because there is experience. If I'm in pain, there's experience. If um, it's very hard to think of things that I would. If I'm alone in a desperate situation, I've done something stupid with my car. I've been there. Um, in Bulgaria, I was looking for a monastery that was very remote, and I just drove onto a street that you don't want to do that just randomly in Bulgaria because you will not be able to return. And this happened. I wasn't able to turn my car around. It was stuck in the mud, and I had an axe, and I had to use branches of trees to get it back on the road and turn it around somehow. And there was nobody around, and it was hot, and there was no fear. It was just like, whoa, this is interesting. And so basically, experience gets interesting, which means the whole machinery goes and um, eats a lot of energy, which is nice if you have it. If you don't have it, then basically what happens for me is that the whole panic making is stopping as well, which is something that I had to train because panic was draining me um, after um, the stroke and the loss of clarity and memory and speech and movement and everything actually. So I was panicked. So I had to develop a way to calm myself really quickly because I was in a constant panic attack. I moved from panic attack to panic attack basically. And I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I need to tell you at some point. So this is as good as any. Um, I really had to calm myself. So at some point, I bought in a store I think it was prayer beads from Catholic faith or something. It was Christmas, so probably that was what it, but I wasn't really clear about what things were, and I had barely gotten to the shop, so I don't really know where I got them from. Um, I know where I bought it, but I don't know what they were, but they were like beads, and I know there's something called a mala, which is like a prayer chain. So I think it's the same thing in Catholicism. You have these beads and you do a prayer for each bead. And what I did was kind of like a mantra, which is I am safe, bead. I am, no, sorry. I would start with you are safe. I would speak to myself, you're safe, you're safe, you're safe. And everything's going to be all right. I didn't know that was true. I just said it. You are safe, you are safe, you are safe. 4 beats. Everything is going to be all right. And I would just repeat that 3 times. So you are safe, you are safe, you are safe. Everything is going to be all right. And that already calmed me down a little bit. So then I would inhabit the you that I was talking to, and I would say, I am safe, I am safe, I am safe. And everything is going to be all right. And then I would remember, I am safe, I am safe, I am safe. Everything is all right. And that did not feel true at that point. So I would repeat it. Everything is all right. Everything is all right. I am safe. Everything is all right. 3 times, 3 times. And then I would say, I am safe again. But then I would say, and it already happened. Whatever you fear, it already happened. And that would be a very scary moment because somehow I had the belief that that would invite the thing that I was fearing to happen. In this case, this was mostly death. So it was very strange to say it already happened, because then the only way that could be true was if I would die at that moment. And then I would get calm, imagining that I could die at that moment, and then it didn't happen. And then I would start over. You are safe, you are safe. And I would believe it a little bit more. At some point, I'd start smiling. I am safe, I am safe, I am safe. And everything is going to be all right. Everything is all right. And then I am safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. And it already happened. And I would just pick up any fear that would be there, like, oh, this might happen, oh, I'm safe, and work through every fear that I could find. And I did that for more than a year. And then the prayer chain broke. So I was like, okay, obviously that's enough. um, and I made a new one and I didn't use it anymore. So that's the first thing I want to chronicle, that happened, and it was a way to um, fight acute panic attacks, of which I had quite a few. And it didn't lead to me being fearless, because that would be very stupid. Fear is a very helpful emotion. I'm not reckless, I think. I hope you be the judge, because I'm taking you on my journeys. Um, I do assess risk a little bit differently than most people, and than I used to do. So, right. Somehow I got talking about fear. That's okay. Like, that's going to happen. I'm going to say things that are more general, because there was a lot that I had to fix before I could get to this level of functioning again. And now that it's possible, I'm not all that sure that it is what I want, because anxiety is returning as well. And anxiety is strange. And I'm at this point where it is returning, so I'm seeing it quite clearly. And I remember for the first time, this was, I don't know, 6 months in or something. I was driving in the car and I was late for something, and I was trying to get there really quick. And I just noticed myself and was like, oh, I'm having stress again. That was for the first time in 6 months after I got rid of the panic attacks, that I was having stress again. And then I had to laugh, because what I was having stress for was I wanted to be at Zen. I visited a Zen temple at some point and started going there. And I was trying to be on time for Zen, and this gave me tremendous stress. And I was like, "Get out of the way! I wanted to get to Zen." And, it was quite funny, I think. Um, and that moment stuck with me, because I was like, "Okay, I am having stress now to get to Zen. This is so absurd." Um, and there is an absurd side to stress, and once you see it, um, once I saw it, I tend to not be able to take that type of thing very seriously for very long, couple of days at the most. Um, so yes, there's going to be some not maybe not exciting because I'm not an exciting person anymore. I don't think I ever was, but not anymore. I like quiet and I like beautiful things, watching them, experiencing them, and I'm going to find a lot of those experiences and share them. And I'm going to be in situations that are scary to me or to some of you, and I'm going to be alone a lot, which used to scare me. Not because I was lonely, I've never been much of a lonely person. But, like, for instance, at some point I was walking the dog in Finland in the dark because it gets dark there quite quickly. You know, it was November, I think. And I was like, well, it's okay because the dog knows where it's going. So I won't lose the way. And I was entering the forest and it really got dark because you have the overhead canopy, so not even the moon was coming in. And I didn't bring a flashlight because I forgot. Um, I was like, well, maybe this is not. Maybe I need to take care because once the dog goes into the woods, then I might hit a tree or so. I got a little bit like, hey, maybe not. And then I suddenly remembered that there's bears in Finland. And lynxes and bobcats and mooses and there's quite a few things in the forest that can kill you if you're not careful. And I was like, well, should I worry? Surely the dog would smell these animals once they enter my vicinity. And then I was like, but you don't normally own a dog, so would you even notice if the dog was anxious? Good point. So at some point, I just decided to turn around and maybe not go in complete darkness anymore. Um, take one of those headlights that they have in Finland. I got one of those. So um, if I tell Dutch people that story, then they're like, "Whoa, you better be very, very careful in Finland." And I've other stories. I did some stupid things, but I'm still alive. Is the It can be pure luck, of course, but I kind of feel that my brain is anxious enough to keep me alive. So I'm not about to feed it more and more anxiety um, because it's draining. But it's happening on its own. The easier it becomes to just believe in this state that I am in right now. Um, the easier it is to have anxiety and stress over all kinds of abstractions. And I'm finding the tools to get rid of that stress again for myself. And I want to share those um, because I think there's a lot of people that have a lot of stress. There's a lot going on in the world. And maybe at some point I want to talk about that as well. because there's ways that I found of looking at it that don't make me very anxious, still make me able to find out what's going on and look at the news and um, be informed and not go crazy. Crazy is a relative term. I think I would have, no, okay, there you go. If I would have seen myself now 10 years ago, then 10 years ago me would have said, well, to the crazy part. I'm not crazy in any recognized way. They tested me, so because when I just had my stroke, I could only laugh about everything. It was so funny to me. So I was tested quite a lot, and basically they tested out every label they had, and didn't fit. So, but there's, especially at that point, there was definitely something wrong with me, but it's not a psychological thing. It's a neurological thing. I was just thinking in a different way, and everything is funny. So I was just not ignoring that. Um, if I look at the news, it is funny, and you can see that because there's all these satirical um, news shows. News is a very good subject for humor. And this is because news does not really exist, but we act as if it does, which is the first funny thing. Um, my favorite writer once said, isn't it very um, weird that there's just enough happening in the world each day to fill the front page of the newspaper? Just enough. And that tells you everything about what news is. Um, and if you look at it with that realization in your mind that this is just a story that somebody thought would get a lot of views in most. I get my news from YouTube, just like everybody else. And that's not news. You may watch television. I don't watch television anymore, so I don't get news there. I hear news from people that tell me things. Um, and I'm not that interested anymore. I know things are bad. I know things are probably going to get worse. Do I need to know more than that? I need to be careful. Um, but I might talk about that in some more detail at some point. Sorry. um, so maybe not as much about what is happening and what I think about that, what opinions I hold, as how to survive in a world that floods you with information that you could get anxious about if that's how you want to spend your day. Um, and my solution at this point is to just not engage with the news much. It's quite impossible to not hear about things. If you have to do with humans in any way, they will tell you how bad things are. Which is lovely because that's just they're warning you. They're scared, they're sharing, they're vulnerable. Oh, it's nice. Okay. Yes, back to what I need to do right now, which is exercise and get going. So that's another 26 minutes wasted on uh, thinking about what I need to do right now and not doing it. um, there's a lot of preparation in doing anything at the moment. So, okay, I'm going to get started.